concept that yeah, that happens right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I know there's viruses in embedded chips, right? Like they've embedded
Yeah.
chips and then acquired viruses.
Well, when I'm talking about a mind virus, I'm talking about like a concept that
Okay.
infects people's minds.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like cult thinking or
Yeah,
some
yeah.
sort of fundamentalism.
Yeah, just wrong-headed idea that just
Yes.
goes viral in an idea sense. You know.
Mm. Well, that is a problem too, right? If someone can manipulate that technology to make something appear logical or rational,
Yeah, yeah.
that would that be an issue too? This is a very have versus have not issue, right? Once this thing, if this really does, I mean, initially it's going to help people with injuries, but you said ultimately it could lead to this spectacular cognitive change.
Yes.
But the people that first get it should have a massive advantage over people that don't have it yet.
Well, I mean, it's the kind of thing where your productivity would improve, I don't know, dramatically, maybe by a factor of 10 with it. So you could definitely just, I don't know, take out a loan and do it and earn the money back real fast.
Yeah.
Be super smart.
Well, in a capitalist society, it seems like you could really get so far ahead that before everybody else could afford this thing and link up and get connected as well, you'd be so far ahead they could never catch you. Is that a concern?
Well, I think it's not a super huge concern. I mean, there are huge differences in cognitive ability and resources already.
Yeah.
I mean, you can think of a corporation as like a cybernetic collective that's far smarter than an individual. Like I couldn't personally build like a whole rocket and the engines and launch it and everything. That's impossible. But we have 8,000 people at SpaceX, and by piecing it out to different people and using computers and machines and stuff, we can make lots of rockets launch into orbit, dock with the space station, that kind of thing. So that already exists where there's corporations are vastly more capable than an individual. But we should be, I think, less concerned about like relative capabilities between people and more like having AI be vastly beyond us and decoupled from human will.
Decoupled from human. So this is if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, I mean.
So you feel like it's inevitable, like AI, sentient AI, is essentially inevitable.
Super sentient AI, yeah. Like beyond a level that's difficult to understand. And impossible to understand, probably.
And somehow or another, so it's almost like it's a requirement for survival to achieve some sort of symbiotic existence with AI.
It's not a requirement. It's just if you want to be along for the ride, then you need to do some kind of symbiosis. So the way your brain works right now, you've got kind of like the animal brain, reptile brain, kind of, for argument's sake, it's like the limbic system basically, and you've got the cortex. Now, the brain purists will argue with this definition, but essentially, you've got the primitive brain and you've got the sort of smart brain, or the brain that's capable of planning and understanding concepts and difficult things that a monkey can't understand. Now, your cortex is much, much smarter than your limbic system. Nonetheless, they work together well. So I haven't met anyone who wants to delete the limbic system or the cortex. People are quite happy having both. So you can think of this as being like the computer, the AI is like a third layer, a tertiary layer. So that is that could be symbiotic with the cortex. It would be much smarter than the cortex, but you'd essentially have three layers. And you actually have that right now. Your phone is capable of things